How do you feel about the Hadid sisters? In this video, we're counting down the top 10 Bella and Gigi Hadid controversies that got them cancelled. So be sure to like and subscribe if you love this video and want to see more like it. Number 10. Lying about her nose job. Bella has said that throughout her entire career that her face is hers and hers alone. But she finally cracked in 2022 when she revealed to the world that she not only got a nose job, but that she received it when she was in the 9th grade. Over the years, magazines and news outlets have claimed that she's one of the most beautiful women in the world, with the face of a Greek goddess. But Bella admitted to Vogue magazine that she had a nose job at the age of 14, and despite her rise to glory, she actually regrets ever getting the procedure. Side-by-side photos show the obvious shift in her face. In 2011, her nose is straighter, and in 2013, it's higher up and wider. The backlash came after years of fans pointing out the change, and Bella constantly denying it ever took place. She claimed that she never received surgery of any kind, and said the shift was from age and the use of face tape. So it is good that she has finally admitted the shift was not natural, but it is a little sad that she was allowed to get a nose job at 14. Number 9. The incident with Zayn. Part of the reason Gigi and Zayn broke up is because Zayn got into a vicious fight with Gigi's mother, which was a lot worse than people realize. They got into a physical altercation in September of 2021, when he reportedly struck her and pushed her into a dresser. He then yelled obscenities at her and said, "Stay away from my effing daughter." Apparently, he even called up Gigi and told her to strap on some balls and defend him against Yolanda. As a result of that incident, Zayn was charged with 4 counts of harassment, for which he pleaded no contest. He was then placed on 90 days of probation for each count for a total of 360 days. He also had to complete an anger management class and a DV program, as well as having no contact with Gigi's mother. Eventually, Zayn broke his silence and claimed that the argument started when Yolanda showed up to his house uninvited. Clearly, they were not on good terms at the time, and the tension escalated when she came over unannounced. For her part, Gigi decided not to comment on the controversy, probably because she didn't want to have to pick sides. She's very clearly just focusing on her daughter right now, and she's mostly stayed under the radar since she split up with Zayn. Number 8. Out of touch comments. Bella is a fashion icon and a staple in the world of glitz and glam, but what often comes with that territory is having no idea how the rest of the world lives. She did an interview with Vogue recently, and while the interview was just meant to be Bella breaking down her icon looks over the years, it morphed into her trying to relate with the people watching at home. At one point, she mentions a time in her life when her family was going through some hard times, so hard that she wasn't even allowed to have designer clothes until after high school. She goes on to speak about her hardships, claiming that when she smiles in her photos now, she is truly happy, unlike the past when she hated her life as a socialite and model. Many TikTok fans have called out the interview as being extremely out of touch, and she does come from a very wealthy family, so to a lot of people watching, it sounded like she was trying to gain some sympathy points by relating to regular people's financial struggles, which is crazy considering that most of her fans could never afford designer clothes in the first place. Number 7. Dubaiigate. Fans think that Gigi was directly involved in something called Dubaiigate. This theory is about the trip that Selena Gomez took with Gigi and Kendall Jenner back in 2014. On the outside, it seemed like they were going over there to celebrate the new year, but some people believe that it was all planned with bad intentions. The theory is that Gigi and Kendall took Selena to Dubai that year just so that Hailey Bieber could spend time with Justin Bieber. At that point, Selena and Justin were on a break, but they weren't completely split up. The idea is that Gigi and Kendall were both in on this plan to try to give Hailey a leg up. Now, this would normally just be another random internet theory, except for the fact that Kylie Jenner herself actually favorited this video on TikTok. So now people think that this is totally legit, and the girls had some kind of secret plan to keep Selena away from Justin. Sadly, this would make a certain kind of sense because Hailey has always been very close with Gigi and Kendall. These kinds of theories have been circulating the internet non-stop, because people just can't get enough of all the chaos going on right now. Number 6. Awkward slang. Bella is known for a lot of things, and unfortunately one of those things is using slang words that she clearly does not use regularly. While shoe shopping a few years back with the channel Complex Shoes, she talked about what makes a good shoe, and in doing so, she starts using some really weird slang terms that she has never used on screen. She says dope a few times and says, "If you're going to have a dope shoe guys and girls can wear, come on, that's dope." When Complex asked her what are some of her turnoffs in the shoe department, Bella said, "They need to be fresh. If homeboy is gonna show up in these, it's quiet." And the minute the sentence came out of there, it was something extremely off. You can tell that she heard it from someone somewhere, but when she says it, it was very obvious that that's not how she usually talks. The video went viral online and sparked so many meme-worthy comments from people, cause let's face it, those words did not come from this woman. Out of everything though, this is one of the controversies injuries that should really be forgiven. She was clearly nervous, and that's what made everything sound so much worse. Number 5. Lying about eating pizza. In an interview clip posted by ID magazine on January 30th, Bella was asked about her favorite go-to snack, and she answered that her favorite go-to snack is pizza at least once per day. The clip has amassed over 2.4 million views so far, and her comments sparked a debate on social media, with the reported widespread use of Ozempic in Hollywood and the return of the super skinny body ideal. TikTok users are increasingly calling out stars who project unrealistic body and diet standards. People are putting more pressure on celebrities like Bella to be honest about how they stay in shape. She does have a long history of being pictured eating pizza and talking about her love of food. There are also those now iconic paparazzi photos of her eating a slice of pizza in Uggs and micro shorts in September. So some people on the internet think she might be trolling them with the pizza moment. Regardless of the truth, it comes across as Bella trying to relate to normal people again and straight up lying about her diet to accomplish that. In this case, it would have sounded so much more realistic if she said her go-to snack was lemon water. Number 4. Fake accent. Many celebrities have a specific twang to their voice, but when their accent changes completely, it is very obvious. That's exactly what happened with Bella Hadid. A TikTok has now gone viral that shows her at a photo shoot in Paris, France, where she tells the camera that the shoot was to die for, no? As she continues, she sounds like she's putting on a bit of a French accent while still speaking English, as in everything she says has a little bit of a question at the end. Not to mention the clip was stitched with a shoe shopping spree interview that we have already covered earlier in this list, where she's speaking in clear English with some broken slang. The internet was flabbergasted by the dramatic shift in her accent and called her out for using a fake voice depending on who she is with. Now, the argument can be made that everyone develops an accent over time, but she was only there for a couple of weeks. A similar thing happened with Lindsay Lohan. So in 2016, the actress was doing an interview with a reporter in Greece when her bizarre new European accent was noticed. Although she was born in Long Island, she appeared to have ditched her New York drawl for something completely inexplicable, which seemed to combine the traces of most dialects you have ever heard. And just like with Bella, it was extremely noticeable. Number 3. Gigi's arrest. Many celebrities get in trouble with the law, but this incident was particularly embarrassing. The supermodel was arrested and fined $1,000 after Customs and Border Control agents found a leafy green substance in her luggage upon her arrival in the Cayman Islands. She had flown there on a private jet for a girls' trip on July 10th. When she arrived at Owen Roberts International Airport, she put her bags through a scanner, and then the staff decided to search them by hand. It was then that they discovered relatively small quantities of the substance, which seemed to be an amount that she would have just had for personal consumption. But still, Gigi and her friends were arrested on charges of importation. She was then processed at the Royal Cayman Islands Detention Center and was later released pending prosecution of her case. In the end, Gigi was fined $1,000 and she left without a conviction on her record. But surprisingly, that was not the end of it. Later on, an inside source close to the star made allegations that the Cayman police wanted to be paid off. But apparently Gigi refused and instead opted for the legal ramifications. So the situation was extremely messy no matter which way you look at it. Number 2. Vogue Italia cover. Gigi Hadid had to apologize after the release of a Vogue Italia cover that featured her with a noticeably darker skin tone. It debuted on Vogue's Instagram and it instantly attracted backlash from social media users who were quick to point out that Gigi's look was drastically different from what she looks like in real life and other editorials. Many people felt strongly about the editing of the photo, with some calling out Gigi and the publication for doing blackface because of just how much her skin tone was darkened. In response, Gigi took to social media to address the backlash and offer an apology. She wrote, "Please understand that my control of a shoot, number 1, is non-existent in terms of creative direction. Number 2, ends completely when I leave the set, and anything done to a photo in post is out of my control fully. Although I understand what Vogue Italia's intentions were, it was not executed correctly, and the concerns that have been brought up are valid." She said that her intention was never to diminish those concerns or take opportunities away from anyone else, and that she hopes this can be an example to other magazines and teams in the future. But even though her apology seemed pretty genuine, fans were just sick of this kind of thing happening so often. And that brings us to number 1, the Vogue Arabia cover. So if you didn't know, Gigi has been on an incredible 17 Vogue covers internationally in her short modeling career, but it was her cover of Vogue Arabia that really angered people. On the cover, she was wearing a head covering that looks like a beaded veil, and inside the actual magazine, she wears what looks like a traditional hijab. hijab, and people were not pleased at all. Many accused her of religious appropriation because they see Gigi glamorizing something that other women are criticized for, especially when it comes to high fashion, and it loses its original meaning, one that has become very contentious in certain parts of the world. In the comment section of the post, people wrote things like, "Gigi Hadid stopped wearing hijab as a fashion statement." Others questioned the magazine about why they did not hire an Islamic model for this particular shoot. To be clear, Gigi Hadid is not Muslim herself, though she is, however, half Palestinian. She's been very vocal about the importance of her roots and has often addressed her ethnicity. And to be fair, not everyone felt that this cover was appropriation. Some saw the photos as a positive sign of inclusivity and diversity in and outside of the fashion industry, and Gigi's way to use her platform to spread a good message. So what do you think about it? Please let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you love this video and want to see more like it.